Pixelkin.
My name is John Hancock. I'm the organizer of Cowlitz Gamers for Kids. It's an annual event in Longview, Washington, and it raises money for Children's Justice and Advocacy Center. And to date, over the last 5 years, we've raised $24,500. I love Robotron 2084 for the Atari 7800. My favorite gaming moments is anytime I can play that with my friends, or anytime I can play with my son. My son's 5. Video games can bring people together, and so just playing Smash Brothers Brawl on the Nintendo Wii. I love playing that together, and it's good times.
Playing Mule on the Commodore 64 or Utopia on the Intellivision with my best friend.
I was playing Minecraft with my friends.
When I was a kid, back in the early 80s, we had a store up on the corner from where I lived. They had a stand-up arcade unit of a game called Astro Blaster. I was great at this game, and for every 10,000 points, the owner of the store would give you a free 16-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola. So every day I'd go up there and get my free Coke, and it finally got to the point where all the neighborhood kids were all around me, all around this arcade machine, and I would just put in quarter after quarter, get 10,000 points, and the kids would run back and get their Coke. So I was everybody's hero. Now, I may not look like much now, but believe me, back in the 80s when I was a young man, for one brief shining moment, I was king of the world.
My first shiny Pokemon.
Probably when I owned the free major 32-bit consoles.
When I found the Golden Gun on the 007 series, kicked my brother's ass a bit.
I got my cousin a Sega Genesis for Christmas, okay? Bringing that full circle around to him, that would be my favorite moment when I got that text of him being blown away by that.
When I first got the Wii, that's when I first really got into video games.
I'll say Halo.
In Pokemon Soul Silver, when you finally beat Red at the top of Mount Silver.
When I got my Super Nintendo for my birthday, I think I was like 12 or something at the time.
When I got my Sega Genesis, saved up a lot of money to buy it, and it was the first year I didn't go trick-or-treating because it was on Halloween.
I'm a game developer, and probably submitting my last game when we finished beta to one of the festivals at my university, and winning most innovative game.
My whole family, from like my grandmother, my mother, and me are all, no, I wouldn't say like hardcore gamers, but my favorite gaming memory was the first time I beat a game without my mother's help. So happy, I just like started crying all over the place like a little girl. It was very embarrassing.
I grew up in and out of foster homes, and on my 10th birthday, I was taken out of my away from my parents and placed into a pretty bad foster home. A year later, on my 11th birthday, I got to spend some extra time with my parents for my birthday. My dad took us to the arcade at the local mall, told us we could play any game that I wanted. We spent like all the money my dad had. We got to like the final boss, and we ran out of money. This random dude just like started feeding us quarters every time I ran out of lives or I died and stuff. And we played the game from beginning to end. Playing video games with my family has always been one of the few happy moments that I have in my childhood. And that, I always loved my dad and my parents because of it, and especially that when things were such, it was a happy moment and such a really bad time in my life.
Escaping Black Mesa as Adrian Shepard in Half-Life Opposing Force.
Playing Metroid Fusion 3 times in a row with my best friend because we could.
When I was playing RuneScape, I was going up against this big, huge dragon boss. I beat it with only 1 HP left, and that was a really cool moment.
Hi, I'm Tim.
I'm Brandon.
We're from SharkTank.com, that's Shark with a Z. Me and Brandon, we've been best friends for almost 15 years, so we don't really have one specific memory together. We have 15 years of memories. You know, we come from different cultures, but we've still been the best of friends for as long as I can remember, and it's because of gaming.
I've never met this man before.
My Aunt Sheila, when she first heard about the Spyro games, she loves dragons, and ever since then she keeps finding more and more games that she likes to play. My other aunt, Wendy,
She doesn't like to play, but she loves to watch. So it's kind of been a bonding experience for them and for me with them.
Mega Man 2, I played with my friends usually, but we would take turns if we died, so.
Playing Mario Party and getting really angry when they gave out the bonus stars because I should have won.
My aunt actually worked for Nintendo, and that was a kid's dream, basically. Going to my aunt and uncle's house, always knew there was going to be games there, and she always had new games, and it was a pretty cool memory.
Hi there, I'm Tristan Wyman, video game journalist for Pure Nintendo, and one Christmas I got Kirby Superstar for the Super Nintendo, and me and my brother spent the entire day playing it because it had such great co-op, and to this day, whenever we hang out, that's one of the games that we do pick up and play. It's so many good times, just nothing but smiles, and just brings us together. It's fantastic.
When I was in junior high when Diablo 2 came out, my dad and I spent the entire Christmas vacation when it came out playing it. I think we cranked out something like 100 hours in a couple weeks doing it.
When I was a little girl, my mom would wait until we go to bed and she would start playing The Legend of Zelda. My mom used to work all day because she was a single mom, but we'd sneak out and we'd watch her play and she wouldn't send us back to bed. She'd just include us in the gameplay, and it was one of those things where we knew we'd get to spend a little bit of extra time with our mom as soon as we heard the theme song for Zelda or the theme song for Dr. Mario. And it's still one of those things where when we hear her playing on the NES, everyone kind of immediately turns their ears, and it's one of a bonding memory for our family.
My brother playing Ocarina of Time, he was so nervous about beating the main boss in the water temple. He was so nervous about me watching him do that he made me leave the room. But then I wanted to see him do this. So I snuck back into the room without him noticing, and then it was a really intense thing, getting really into it. And if finally he defeats it, he starts yelling, yeah, I did it, and I start yelling too, and then he realizes that I'm there, and a little bonding experience, me and my older brother.
Hi, I'm Friday. I own Friday Afternoon Tea. I make nerdy tea blends. My favorite gaming memory of all time was growing up in a loud, rambunctious Irish-Mexican family. My mom, when she could not even deal with us anymore, would put on what she called the Sonic Show, meaning let's all watch mom play video games for a few hours and just shut up. And that was the best thing ever. We had no idea that it was a video game until years later. She convinced us that it was an actual show, and she had to hold that thing in her hands or it wouldn't work.
My dad, he used to play the Mario all the time and the Castlevania, and I think our favorite thing was just watching him and, cheering him on kind of thing, so it's my favorite memory.
Playing CVS2 in the arcades. When I first played Resident Evil, and the look of the zombie when it turns over to look at you, the over-the-shoulder look put fear in my heart, and I loved it at the same time.
When I was 5, playing Mega Man 3, and I was on the second controller doing the jumps out of pits for my brother. That's my first gaming experience.
When I was 7, we had a NES that broke, and for Christmas, my parents got me a Sega Genesis, and I was really excited about the upgrade.
I was 9 and I was playing the original Legend of Zelda, and when I beat the first dungeon, it took me so long, but when I beat it, I felt so awesome, and I felt like I actually knew what I was doing, and very cool, and I felt way cooler than all my sisters, so it was a pretty good memory.
I discovered multiplayer on 007, GoldenEye.
Christmas when I was in, I think, 3rd or 4th grade, and I got Majora's Mask.
When Pac-Man came out on Xbox, and I was playing it, and I'd been chasing the ghosts because I had a fruit, and just as I was about to close down on Blinky, the fruit wore off, and just, as I'm trying to escape, I think, oh no, he's not my friend, and then I get bitten by the ghost, and that happened. So that's my favorite moment, just because it kind of has a round feeling to it.
When I first started doing gaming, my now husband, I was with a bunch of guys and we were playing Halo 2, and we were doing the 2 different teams planting bombs, and it was so awesome because I got to go and sneak behind enemy lines and plant a bomb, and then when I won with our team, they're like, who did that? And I was like, so it was really cool because they're all shocked because I hadn't played very much Halo. So it was really fun.
My name is Slava Borisenko. I am a doctor of chiropractic. I've been playing games since, I don't know, 78, 79-ish. when the games were still downloaded from the tapes, and it would take us only 3-4 hours to load up the game so you can play. So if you don't like the game, you would have to really think about it if you want to load up a new one, you know what I mean? And my best experiences with the games was the flashback. The guy got lost and lost his memory, and you have to find through the different troubles and tribulations who you are and what the heck is going on. The game is awesome.
One time when I was at my cousin's house and he was playing The Legend of Zelda, we were all, like his mother, well, my aunt, and everybody that was in the house just sat on the sofa and just watched it, like watching a movie. Like we just all got together to see because the end was so amazing and so like movie-like, and we were like all biting our nails.
My fondest memory of video games is that my brother and my mother stayed up all night playing Tetris in my room, and I couldn't sleep because they were playing every night. So I wanted to play with them. So actually we're just looking to buy Tetris right now to recreate that moment.
My favorite memory has to be Halo 3 with just all my friends and stuff, like just playing custom games with everybody. Probably my best memories.
Probably Halo 3 when it first came out, just playing custom games with all my friends. That's when I first started playing online, and just everything about it was great, just talking and everything.
The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker at the very end, and Link just boop right onto Ganondorf. Best part.
I like to game with my family, especially now with my husband. On a rotating shift, when he is back in North Dakota, we get online, play some Final Fantasy XIV or World of Warcraft together to spend time together, and we're coaxing my daughter into playing with all of us too.
Besting the Water Temple for the second time on Master Quest difficulty in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That was quite the challenge.
In the summer of 1996, I'm pretty sure, I spent the entire time basically in my dad's basement playing Guardian Heroes with my friend who lived across the street. Years later, I was in Japan. I walked into this, the gift store there. Suddenly, I was just totally overcome with this wave. It was the smell. Was the same smell as was in that basement, and it just hit me that hard.
My first gaming memory is playing Venture, actually, with my dad. It was one of the few things I got to do with the family and with my dad. So, yeah, it's one of the things I frequently think back on, and probably one of the reasons I'm still very into games. I'm working with someone now who is looking to make a new version of Venture on a new Atari system.
My favorite memory of playing games was with my son Joshua, and we were playing a asteroid game where we go into the asteroid with spaceships and shoot each other and robots, and it was a lot of fun. It's a fond memory.
Getting through all 99 levels of Bubble Bobble, beating the boss, and then finding out it was a false ending.
I wanted to beat Street Fighter 2 with Chun-Li. I went past the 99 round counter when I was fighting the second to last boss, but I beat him.
When I was a kid, I couldn't beat Super Mario Brothers, so I always gave the controller over to my uncle. And my uncle would beat the game for me every single time. And then years later, he had his own family and his own kids, and I was playing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And he sat down and he watched me play. And I remember that really fondly because I kept on trying to hand him the controller, and he's like, no, I can't beat this, only you can. And that's just a really fond memory I have.